Good morning. So in our previous class we have constructed the P chart, that is the fraction defective chart. So today we will see the problem related to the P chart. So read the question. The question is, the following are the figures of defectives. So here defectives are given. So defectives are denoted with DI, that is in your question DI values are given. Defectives in 22 lots. So instead of samples they have mentioned lot. Lot is nothing but units in a sample. Overall the units in sample are called the lot. So K equals to 22. So there are total 22 lots, that means 22 samples, that is K equals to 22, and each containing 2000 rubber bells. And in each sample there are 2000 rubber bells, that is N equals to 2000. So from the question we have the DI values, that is sample size K equals to 22. Sorry, the number of samples K equals to 22 and the sample size N equals to 2000. So these are all the given 22 DI values. For these values we need to draw the control chart for fraction defective. So fraction defective means we need to construct the P chart. So we have to construct the P chart and comment on the production process. So after constructing the control limits and by drawing the chart, we are going to interpret and say whether there are any high spots or the low spots in our production process. So what are given in the question? First write down given K equals to 22 and N equals to 2000. So these are the values given in the question. Now here P value is not mentioned. So for control limits we have two cases. One is known case and another is unknown case. Here P value is not mentioned. So we will estimate P by using the average of P times. So we will use the second case. So therefore the 3 sigma control limits. The 3 sigma control limits for P chart are, so what is the UCL? UCL equals to P bar plus 3 into under root P bar into Q bar divided by N. Similarly, CL equals to P bar itself and LCL equals to P bar minus 3 into under root P bar Q bar by N. So these are the 3 control limits. So to construct the control limits, first thing we need is P bar value. So what is P bar? P bar is the average of the proportions. So average means it is a mean. So total K samples, so 1 by K summation I equals to 1 to K P I. So by using the mean formula we will get the P bar value and Q bar equals to 1 minus P bar. So what is PI? PI is the proportion of defectives. P bar is a proportion of defectives. So in our question only DI values are given, that is the defectives. So first we need to find the PI values. What is the formula for PI? PI equals to DI by N. So DI values, that is defectives, already given in the question. N is nothing but the sample size given 2000. Now construct a table where we can find the PI and the P bar values. So now to find the P bar value, first we need the PI values. So how to obtain those PI values? PI is nothing but the defectives divided by number of values in the sample. That is PI equals to DI by N. So what are the DIs? DIs are already given in the question. So corresponding to your sample number, write down all the DI values given in the question. Then find out the PI values. So what is the first DI value? 425. So 425 divided by 2000, you will get 0.2125. Similarly for the second one, 413 divided by 2000 equals to 0.2065. So here they have mentioned that all the samples are having the same size containing the 2000 rubber bells. So for all the 22 lots, the sample size is same. So for all the given 22 defectives, you have to divide it with 2000 to obtain the PI pi values, you find out the summation pi so that you can find the p bar. So what is p bar? P bar equals to 1 by k summation pi. So 1 by k means k is the total number of samples, that is you have 22 lots, that is 1 by 22 into summation pi is 3.501. So 3.501 divided by 22, you will get the p bar value as 0.1591. So p bar equals to 0.1591. So after getting the p bar value, find the q bar also. So what is q bar? 1 minus p bar. So 1 minus p bar means 1 minus 0.1591. So 1 minus 0.1591 is 0.8409. So q bar equals to 0.8409. So now we got p bar and q bar values. Substitute this p bar and q bar values in the 3 sigma control limits. So what is the UCL? UCL equals to p bar plus 3 into under root p bar q bar by n. So what is the p bar value? P bar is 0.1591 plus 3 into under root p bar, that is 0.1591 into q bar is 0.8409 divided by n, that is the sample size 2000. So by solving this, you will get the UCL value, and similarly if you put minus, you will be getting the LCL value. So solve it, you will get the UCL and CL and LCL. So by solving, we will get the UCL, CL and LCL values as UCL equals to 0.1591 plus this fraction value is 0.0245. So if you add these two values, you will get UCL equals to 0.1836. So similarly, in case of plus, if you write minus, that is 0.1591 minus 0.0245, you will get LCL value as 0.1346. So what is CL? CL is nothing but P bar. So P bar value, that is 0.1591. So substitute all these values and find the UCL, CL and LCL values. Now we will represent this UCL, CL and LCL values on a graph and plot all the PI values. So we have constructed, that means we have calculated the values of UCL, CL and LCL for the P chart. Now we will draw the chart for P chart. So for this, first draw the x-axis and y-axis. So on x-axis we will be writing the sample number, right? So what are the samples? How many samples we have? Total 22 samples we have. So 22 samples representing on a small graph is not easy. So I am taking the scale as 2 on x-axis, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So total we have 22 samples. That's why I took the scale on x-axis. On x-axis I did the scale as 1 centimeter equals to 2 units. Next, similarly on the y-axis we will be writing the proportions, right? On the y-axis we will be denoting the proportions. So all the proportions are the point values. That is, we are going to plot this PI values. All are 0.1, 0.2, all are between 0.1. So for this case, I am taking the scale on y-axis as 0.02. So on y-axis, I will be taking the scale as 1 centimeter equals to 0.02 units. So start with 0.02 up to, what is the last value we want up to? We have 0.2. So the last value is 0.2 and 0.8 also. 0.18 and last is 0.2 only. So we want values up to 0.2. So we will be drawing the axis up to 0.22 or 24. So start with 0.02, next 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, next is 0.1, next 0.12, 0.14, 0.16, 0.18, 0.20. So this axis you can draw a little bit big also. I think it's congested. So we'll draw a little bit big. So 0.02, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, 0.1, 0.12, 0.14, 0.16, 0.18, 0.2, 0.22. So we have up to 0.2255. So right up to 0.24, 0.24. So this is on the y-axis we are representing the proportions, that is a fraction of defectives. So first what we will plot? We will be plotting the value of UCL. What is UCL? 0.18. 0.18 is 0.18. You have here. So draw a dotted line. So this is the UCL value. So that is, you can write here UCL equals to, write down the value, that is 0.18. 0.18. Next, coming to the CL. What is CL? CL value is 0.159. So 159 is almost 16. So you draw CL at 0.16. That is, CL is always a dark line. So CL equals to 0.159. Next, you draw the LCL. What is the LCL? LCL value is 0.134. So 0.13 is in between 0.12 and 14. You will be getting here the LCL value for the dotted line. LCL equals to 0.1346. So after drawing UCL, CL and LCL value, next we will be plotting the points. So first, this is P chart, so you have to plot the points of PI only. Don't consider the DI values. These DI values are only used to find the proportions, that is the PI values. So first, corresponding to first sample, what is the first PI value? 0.21. So 0.21 is here, in between 0.21 and 0.22. Here it is corresponding to first sample, the value is 0.21. Next, corresponding to second sample, the value is 0.20. So for second sample, the value is here. Simultaneously, keep joining the points for easy understanding. Next, for the third sample, 0.10. So for third sample, 0.10, it is here. So join this. Next, for the fourth sample, the value is 0.17. So for fourth sample, 0.17, it is here. Join it. Next, similarly, for the fifth sample, the value is 0.16. For the fifth sample, the value is 0.16. Join it. Next, for the seventh sample, for the sixth sample, the value is 0.14. So 0.14, it is here. So join it. Next, for the seventh sample, the value is 0.15. 0.15 is here. Join it. Next value is 0.16. For the eighth sample, the value is 0.16. Okay, 0.16 only. 0.16 here. So you plot all the points, and the next point is ninth. At the ninth sample, the value is 0.15. 0.15. Next, 10th sample, the value is 0.17. 0.17. Next, 11th sample, the value is 0.20. 0.20. Next, 12th sample, the value is 0.10. Join it. Next, for the 13th sample, the value is 0.13. Join it. Next, for the 14th sample, the value is 0.06. 0.06 here. Join. Next, for the 15th sample, the value is 0.20. Again here. Join it carefully. Next, for the 17th sample, for the 17th sample, the value is 0.09. 0.09 it is here. Join it again. Next, for the 18th sample, the value is 0.14. 0.14. Join it. Next, for the 19th sample, the value is 0.19. 0.19. Join it. Next, for the 20th sample, the value is 0.1. For 18th sample, the value is 0.16. For the 19th sample, the value is 0. Sorry, 1 second. So for the 18th sample, the value is 0.16. For the 19th sample, the value is 0.14. 0.14. Next, for the 20th sample, the value is 0.19. 0.19. Next, for the 21st sample, for the 21st sample, the value is 0.22. 0.22 on the top. Then the last, the 22nd value is 0.21. For the 22nd sample, the value is 21. 22 is here. Next, 21. So if you plot all the points, you will get a similar graph like this. So after getting this graph, we have to interpret our P chart. So that means we have to find whether there are any high spots or the low spots in our graph. So observe the graph. So for this we have to do the interpretation. So first check whether the process is under control or not. Then we will go whether how many high spots we are having and how many low spots we are having. If you observe clearly, this is our LCL line. So there are 3 points below LCL and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points above UCL. Since there are 5 points above UCL and 3 points below LCL, clearly the process is not under statistical control. Process is not under statistically controlled. So we know that it is not statistically controlled. Now we will check how many high spots we are having and how many low spots we are having. So high spots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So sorry, they are not 5, 11 points above UCL. So that indicates that all these points, whatever these points you have LCL, that indicates there are 12 high spots. So all in P chart, whatever the points which are above UCL are considered as high spots. Now see the LCL. In LCL, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 points are below UCL, below LCL. That is, there are total 4 low spots. There are total 4 low spots. So what does low spots indicate? Low spots indicates that there is a improvement in the quality. Improvement in the quality. What does high spots indicate? High spots indicates the deterioration. Deterioration means the situation which goes worse day by day. Now if you compare, low spots are only 4. That means the improvement. Comparatively, the high spots are many, right? If you compare 4, 12, there are many high spots. So there is a situation that it is going worse day by day. So by seeing this control chart, we can say the process is not under control and also the situation is going worse day by day. You can say that quality is improving also, but comparatively below LCL we have only 4 points. Whether the quality is improving, since there are 12 points above the UCL, the situation is going worse day by day. So this is about P chart. So in our P chart, what we are doing, in the question you will have only the DI values. So what are DI values? The defective values. Defectives. So whenever you find defectives, it will be either a P chart or NP chart. If they are asking number of defectives, if they are saying number of defectives, then you will use number of defectives. So you use NP chart. Suppose if they are saying proportion of defectives, in your question they will not easily mention construct P chart or construct NP chart. By seeing, you have to identify. If they are saying number of defectives, you will be using the, if they are saying number of defectives, you will be using the NP chart, and if you are using the proportion of defect, if they are saying proportion of defectives, you will be using the P chart. So depending on your question, you have to choose the which type of chart is suitable for your problem. Next coming, after finding only your DI values will be given in the question. For that values, you will be finding the PI values by using the formula PI equals to DI by N. So this is the P chart. So you will find PI values, that is DI by N. So N means the sample size. Here the sample size is constant, that is sample size is given 2000, right? The sample size is constant, so for all the DI values you will be dividing with 2000 only. So that is a fixed sample case. So in P chart we will be having a varying sample case also. That means for each and every sample, the sample size will be different. Suppose for the first sample, the sample size is 100. For the second sample, the sample size will be changing. It may be 200 or 120, 150. So if you have the different sample sizes, that will be coming under the P chart for varying sample size. So this P chart for varying sample size, we will be discussing in our next class. So today we have completed P chart problem. That is, we have constructed PI values. After finding the PI values, you have to construct the control limits. How will you construct the control limits? What is the formula? P bar plus or minus 3 into under root P bar into Q bar by N, where Q bar equals to 1 minus P bar. So this is construction of control limits. After setting the control limits, depending on your values, you have to write your axis. So here I had 22 samples, so I 0.02. So from 0.02 to 0.4, 0.06, 0.08, 0.10, 0.12, 0.14 up to the last value I had is 0.22. So that's why I took the scale up to 0.24. Then plot the UCL, CL and LCL. You have to clearly mention here UCL equals to 0.181 so that the examiner can be seeing the values easily from the graph also. So UCL, CL values will be represented. After that, PI values. Since it is P chart, only the P values should be plotted. So for the corresponding samples, you have find the P values. That P values you will be plotting on the graph and make an interpretation. If all the points here in this case, many points are above UCL and some points are below LCL. So the process is not under statistically controlled. So it is not under control. And what about the situation? If you see the situation, there are more number of points above UCL. So that points are called as the high spots. So these high spots indicates the deterioration of the production process. That is the situation going worse day by day. So here comparatively, compared to low spots, high spots are many. So there is a deterioration in our production process. So this is the construction of P chart for fixed sample size. So in our tomorrow's class, we will be learning about the P chart for the varying sample